Today we're going to cover something that I get asked all the time. How does the landlord partnership and Airbnb management model actually work in service accommodation and in the Airbnb game? I understand that people hear and think about the numbers all the time. They hear cleaning fees, they hear maintenance, they hear the landlord payout, and it all seems a bit confusing. If you don't actually own the property, how are you going to make money from it? Today, I'm going to break down step by step how it all actually works. We will go through a real example with actual numbers, and I will show you what Airbnb takes, what you take, what the landlord takes, and how your profit margins end up being pretty much 100%. Now, before we break into the numbers, let's talk about how the management model actually works, how it is set up, and how you make money from a property that you don't even own. You don't even rent the property, there's no risk from you. Instead, what you are is you are the person in the middle who manages everything on the landlord's behalf. Think of it from the landlord's perspective. If they wanted to run their property as an Airbnb themselves, they would have already done it. The reason that they don't want to do this is they'd have to create a listing, respond to guest inquiries, organize check-ins, deal with cleaners, chase down late maintenance issues, whatever it is. And honestly, most landlords just do not want to deal with that. They want hands-off passive income because that's their idea of how they make money. And that's where you come in. So you say to the landlord, look, give me the keys and I'll take care of all the hard work. I'll optimize the listings, I'll handle the guests, I'll deal with the cleaners, I'll make sure any maintenance is sorted, and in return, I'll take a percentage of the revenue. It's a win-win for the landlord and you because they still make money without having the hassle, and it's a win for you because you're getting cash flow and you're not paying any rent or any cost up front. That's how you create a win-win scenario. The landlord handles costs such as bills, maintenance, cleaning, council tax, and you just take your share for managing the business side. Let's break down the costs. How does the money flow with an Airbnb property? So imagine at the end of the month, a payout that comes into your account of £4,000. That's the net amount after Airbnb has already taken their 15% platform fee. Now, from that £4,000, the management fee comes off first. Most companies charge anywhere from 15 to 20%. So at 15%, that's £600, and at 20%, that would be £800. Next, you've got operating costs. So you've got cleaning, any small bits of maintenance, anything like that. So let's say, for example, the cleaner charges £50 per turnover. If the property had 8 bookings that month, that would be £400 which has gone on cleaning. Let's add another £100 in for little things such as maintenance, replacing light bulbs, door handles, whatever it is. So total cost together of cleaning and maintenance is £500. That leaves the landlord with £2,900 for the month. And that's the beauty of the model. Airbnb has already taken their cut, you've been paid for managing the property, the cleaners have been paid, the landlord still walks away with nearly £3,000 without having to lift a finger. This is exactly the type of agreement and breakdown we want to go and build with our landlords. And we cover this in even more detail in the Airbnb Mastery Academy. So you understand just not how the business side works, but how the numbers really stack up to make your financials. Let's run through our own example to show you how we optimize even more and make almost £1,000 a month off properties. So I'm going to show you this property as an example. It's a 3-bedroom flat in Zone 1 London, Tottenham Court Road. It's a really high spec. As you can see, it's a really, really nice flat, as you'll see from all the pictures and stuff that we're going through here. How much money can we make off this property in 1 month as just a management company that charges 15%? If you look here, we're already pretty booked, but on average, we're aiming to charge about £700 a night. If you do £716 times your 25 nights that you would aim to be occupied, that would be £17,000. Now, Airbnb takes a 15% fee, so that's £15,000. You're going to take 15% of that fee. So of that number of £15,000. So you're going to take 15% of that £15,000. If you did that, you would be making £2,282 just off the management fee. Now this is an extreme example, but I want to show what is possible. So for example, this month, if we look at our calendar, we went live with this property just at the beginning of the month, but it's a new listing and will take some time to get traction to really get to those higher level numbers. But I'll show you exactly what we will make off it this month. So our payout from Airbnb here is £3,000. Here, the payout for Airbnb is £3,360. Sorry, booking.com, not Airbnb. We've still got a couple more nights left to get booked at around 700, 500, 600 pounds. So if we assume those 4 more nights get booked, and that's another, let's say 2,000 pounds on top of that, that would be 3,000 plus 3,300 plus 2,000. So we'll do the maths, 3,000 plus 3,350 plus 2,000 is 8,350 plus this booking we got here, which was just when we went live, and that was for £839. That is £9,000, £9,189 on our first month of managing this property, and it hasn't even been live for the full month. We are going to charge a 15% fee on that. Sorry, that's my fault. £9,189, and we're going to charge a 15% management fee on that, which will mean our management fee for this month, for not even doing a full month's management, will be £1,378. That's more than most people make off a buy-to-let or a standard property or a rent-to-rent. And I'm just showing you the figures. On top of that, we take guest waivers, early check-in, damage deposits. You can see here that in the last month alone, if we do the last 17 days, sorry, 18, because today is the 18th of September, we have got over 51 transactions. And of those 51 transactions, that's damage waivers, all of them, and a couple early check-ins. If you do 51 times 60, that means that we have made £3,000 of damage waivers alone. Now, if you average that out and said we had 30 management properties, that would be £102 per property on damage waivers alone. And that's not even the true numbers. That's just me showing you as an example to divide it by 10. And we're only 2/3 through the month. So we could be at £150 per property additional revenue for our management business just by adding damage waivers and adding all that stuff in. So that's a real life example of us making nearly £1,500 a month off not even a full month's management. When we go to a full month's management, we expect to be making for anywhere from £1,500 to £2,000 a month for managing that one property. If you want to learn how we and our students secure multiple properties like this that can help you quit your job after getting one management property, click the next video and learn about the Airbnb Mastery Academy. So let's talk a bit about landlord transparency. At this point, you might be thinking and wondering, how do landlords actually know these numbers are accurate, believe them, see them, etc.? This is where transparency comes in and becomes incredibly important. If you were a landlord and you were letting someone else manage the property, deal with the bookings, deal with the money, all that kind of stuff, wouldn't you want to know where the income was coming from and how it was actually being calculated? Well, yeah, of course you would. So that's why we have systems in place. The most serious and the best businesses have software where you can essentially create something called an owner's portal. This is basically a login for the landlord where they can log in and see everything that is happening with their property. They can check their bookings, their occupancy levels, their rates, cancellations, and even reviews, all in real time. And that gives transparency and trust. On top of that, at the end of each month, we send them a clear management statement. That statement breaks down the reports, the gross revenue, what Airbnb took, what we took, the cleaning and maintenance costs, and what the final payout is to them. All laid out in black and white in a clear statement for them. Now, let's flip the perspective back onto you, because you might be wondering how much money of this is actually profit for you. In our example, we made £600, or in the real life example, we made nearly £1,500 from managing that one property. What did it cost you or us to do that? Well, you don't pay rent, you don't cover the mortgage, you don't pay bills or council tax. The landlord does all of that. Your only real expenses are things like software, which is maybe £30 to £50, and maybe a bit of admin to help set up if you've got a lot of properties and you might need staff. So realistically, out of that £1,500, you might only spend, let's say £150 for us in terms of the costs for staff and managing that property, which means your net profit is around £1,300 or around that figure. So that leaves you with a 90% profit margin. And that's why people love this model. It's lean, it's low risk, and it's highly, highly profitable. So if you want to make even more money and even more profit in your management business, watch the next video. And you could learn how you could make hundreds, if not thousands of pounds, just like us, managing one property. Now, one property making you a couple £100, maybe even £1,000, isn't going to change your life. Imagine if you've got 5 properties under management or 10 properties under management. That could bring you anywhere from £5,000 to £10,000 profit every single month. Go bigger, go 20, 30. you would be making more money than you ever dreamed of. Now you're up maybe 10, 15, 20,000 pounds a month, and you haven't paid a penny. You've been making profit since day one, all simply by managing other people's properties and assets on Airbnb and taking a percentage. The beauty of this model is that it scales so well. Once you've got the systems in place, your cleaners, your owner's portal, your automated messages, taking on another property doesn't mean another load of workload and hassle for you. It's just plugging the landlord into your systems that you've already got built, you've already got set up, you know how to do it. That's how some management companies grow to managing 50, even hundreds or thousands of properties. It's not because they're working around the clock on each individual place, it's because they've got the systems set up that allow them to scale more without adding dramatically more workload. So let's recap this all. The management model is where you manage, not own or rent. The landlord pays the mortgage, the bills, the council tax, everything else. Airbnb takes their cut first, you take your management fee, then you pay the cleaners and the maintenance teams. After that, the landlord gets the rest. The role that you play is to make sure that the whole system runs smoothly and that the landlord is happy because they don't have to do any of that work. And you're happy because you're making a lot of money and your profit margins are incredibly high. So if you want to build and scale a serious Airbnb business, you need to add more properties by adding them into your system. Create a great system that's clean, simple, and it's one of the safest and most profitable ways to build an Airbnb business in 2025. Now, if you found this breakdown useful, make sure to like, subscribe, and make sure if you want to make a disgustingly profitable management business, watch the next video.